Today's quote is always seek to understand. Stop assuming you know it all and allow yourself to entertain different perspectives. For this quote, I have to share a story about me and my husband when we were first dating. Once we had moved in together, I decided to cook a meatloaf. Okay, and I don't cook. I'm not the best chef in the world, so I'm following a recipe and I'm making it the way my mom taught me how to make it in the Pyrex dish. Okay, so he comes home, I serve it up in the Pyrex dish. He goes, "What's this?" I said, "It's meatloaf." He goes, "It's in a Pyrex dish." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "That's not the way you make meatloaf." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You make it in a loaf pan, that you make bread in." And I go, "It's a meatloaf either way. It doesn't matter if it's a bread pan or a Pyrex dish." Do you know that to this day, I think that was the biggest fight we ever had. I don't even know how long we were together, but me cooking for him and me cooking it the way my mom cooked it. And he always thought that, you had to cook it in a loaf pan because that's the way that his mom taught him how to do it. Lo and behold, this is like years later, at least 10 years later, and we're watching the cooking channel or the Food Network or whatever, and somebody's making a meatloaf. And every time somebody would make a meatloaf, we're like, "How'd you make it? How'd you make it? How'd you make it? Where'd you put it in?" All of a sudden, somebody puts it on a cookie sheet. A cookie sheet! There are no edges at all on a cookie sheet. And they said, they're like, "We use the cookie sheet to let all the fat drain off so that you don't have to eat the fat." I'm like, "Yes, yes, 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 yes." And he looks at me and he goes, "I was wrong." He goes, "I'll never make it in a loaf pan again." Oh my God. Seek to understand. Everyone has a different perspective based on how they grew up and what they learned. And I really hope you enjoyed this funny story because, like I said, it's probably the biggest fight we ever had. And it's because I was stuck in my old ways of doing things and he was used to his old ways of doing things. And we both assumed that this was the only way that you could make a freaking meatloaf. And lo and behold, look at all the different ways you can make meatloaf. Doesn't matter if it's a loaf pan, Pyrex dish, cookie sheet, who cares? It's a meatloaf. Enjoy it. Always seek to understand so that you don't have to have the fights and the wars that break out. It's ridiculous. If somebody says something and you're offended by it, ask them what they meant by it or ask them to explain more. There's always a reason. There's always something more to the story. Don't ever assume. Seek to understand. If you're looking for more of your daily dose of PositiviDee, you can buy it on Amazon, or you can actually check out my YouTube channel, which is A Dose of PositiviDee. Anyway, have fun. I love you. Oh, take care, and please take this to heart. Seek to understand. Don't assume. Take care.